Hey, it's me again, your sister Queen Consuela, and I am back. Before we get started, why don't you go ahead, like, share, comment, make sure you tap that bell so you know when I go live and not have to catch the replay or when I upload a video. So, today we're going to talk a little bit about appreciating the small things in your marriage. And that's very important because sometimes we take for granted the small things that seems to be going well in our marriage and overshadow and overpower it with all the negative things that goes on in our marriage. Ladies, I'm very guilty of this, very guilty of this. But this weekend has helped me to really put in perspective that sometimes it's the small things that we should start focusing on more than the big things that seems not to be going the way we want it to go. And so first, I want to say a belated happy Mother's Day to all my ladies. I hope that you enjoyed your day yesterday. For those that are parents, those that are desiring to be parents, and those that may not have their own kids, but you are nourishing to someone else's kid or even someone else's spirit. So guess what? Happy Mother's Day to you. So let's get into it. So I want to just share, of course, I always do everything based on my experience. Yesterday, I had a wonderful Mother's Day. And my husband and I spent the day together at one of his family's gathering. And this was significant for me because this is not something we do often. There were many times that his family may have a gathering or whatnot. And I think they assumed that when they told him about it, he told me about it. Wasn't the case, ladies. He would, like many times, go out and enjoy himself, and I would be home. Well, we actually went together this time, and things were wonderful. It was actually really nice. And you know what I did? I told him, I actually complimented our time together, and I told him I appreciated and enjoyed my time with him because I wanted to celebrate the small win, the small thing that happened, something that seems like, oh, that should be normal. It's not always normal with everyone. You may be in a situation where sometimes a male may portray you differently to his family, and so they may see you differently. This is not the case for me, but I have seen this happen in many issues, in many situations where, the family act funny with the wife because of the way the husband has portrayed her to them. So with that being said, of course, I like to back things up with scripture because believe it or not, even with little things like this, I go to the word to say, hey, God, how do I apply this into my situation so that I can remember to do it all the time? So I went to Zechariah 4:10, and this one particular scripture, I read it in the NLT version that really, really stuck out to me. And it says, do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. And that's the beginning of the scripture. And I want to focus on that because small beginnings in any situation, showing that, you're moving forward, is something that is pleasing unto God because you're putting in the work. And how many times do we complain when things are not going well, but we don't do anything to really change it? Or we give up easily. And what does the word tell us? Let's go here unto what? Galatians 6:9. And again, I'm reading for the NLT version. And it said, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessings if we don't give up. So I say that to say that even when things are not going well in your marriage, When you see something that is small, like a small change within your marriage, in your husband, even within yourself, celebrate that and use that as inspiration to not give up. Continue, keep going, keep pushing. Because even though things may seem like it's not going well, there is something to look forward to. I say that to say, you know, sometimes just before something good happens, you start experiencing something bad. You know, you get discouraged. Things look like it's going the total opposite of the way you want it to go. And then you give up. But if you keep going, guess what? Then that next day, that next moment, that next hour, things may turn around. You may find yourself in one position and things look like, okay, it's just not working. You and your husband arguing or even have an attitude towards each other, and you're like, you know what, this is not working. I'm tired. It's like he doesn't get it, or you try to express yourself and he brush you off, and you feel like this isn't working. I'm tired. I'm giving up. I'm just not even going to put anything into it anymore. Sometimes you may just have to step away and just be like, God, give me the strength and the grace to continue to push forward. Give me the grace and the strength to not give up, God. Even though I feel like giving up on this marriage, God, I'm not giving up on you, God. I know that you are in control. What cannot be do, God, there is nothing that you cannot do. So you want to continuously remind yourself. Sometimes you have to remind yourself of the word to encourage yourself to continue to push forward. And then next thing you know, something happens, and it'd be something like so insignificant that you kind of brush it off sometimes, or it'd be something that's so small, or others may find it to be small, but it's something great for you. Celebrate that. Enjoy that and use that as an encouragement that, guess what? Even when things may seem like it goes backwards, you still going to move forward. You still can push forward and go the way you want and need it to go, the way God has already designed for your marriage to go. Listen, the enemy is fighting hard against your marriage. You have to fight hard for your marriage. Yes, it will be so ideal and wonderful if you and your husband can do this together, but that's not always the case. I'm proof. So I have to do it myself. But you know what I've noticed? And that I didn't take the time to acknowledge before and just appreciate is that my husband sees it. So he does try to, encourage it every now and then, but it seems like he do it less than I would want him to. And so I focus on the times that he's not doing it instead of the times that he is doing it. So you have to celebrate those small things, because guess what? In order for a baby to start walking, they have to first start taking those little small steps. Those little steps where their hand is being held. And I use that for my grandbaby as an instance. She's not walking yet, Lord, but she will. Why? Because she's ready to walk, but she needs help with her walk right now. So guess what? In our marriage, we're ready for this marriage to just move forward, but we need help. That's when we hold our hands up and let God guide us and help us with our first little steps. And in those steps, in time, we will be walking on our own. You didn't walk today just instantly. You're walking today because of those small steps you took when you was a baby. Those small steps that were taken and falling and getting back up, taking a step, falling, getting back up until you was able to walk, run, skip, jump, hop. But you couldn't do that right out the womb. It took time. And where there are people that are blessed in marriages where their marriage just flourish. And most times that is because, one, that woman sought God, and that man also sought God, and God brought that woman to that man so that he can embrace her. And because they celebrated and enjoyed the presence of God first, he allowed them to enjoy and celebrate each other. But then you have those people like your girl right here who didn't really spend as much time with God like she was supposed to because she was looking for comfort in a man, married, and everything was good because she was doing the same things in the beginning, but things changed. So now it seems like things are not the way they're supposed to. But guess what? We're taking these small steps, and I am learning to appreciate each small step, the little beginning, the little small things. I do love and appreciate my husband. Don't get me wrong. But I spent a lot of time complaining about things that he was doing, not paying attention to what I was doing. So now I also have to celebrate the small beginnings within myself. The renewing of my mind, the way I see things, the time I spend with God. Those are things that I celebrate so that it can be impactful within my marriage. But I was celebrating those things without celebrating the small things he was doing. So now I'm like, okay, I have to reevaluate some things because there were times that when my husband was all lovey-dovey with me, we fought so much that I was like, God, I don't know what to do now. What is this? That I questioned him. Are you okay? What's wrong with you? What you want? What you need? Now, is that right? No. I'm going to admit, ladies, I was wrong because I didn't see it as a beginning. Those things are beginnings. It's little things that he does that he's beginning to realize, and he's understanding that, our marriage was so far away from each other that it's time to start bringing it in. And he's doing it in the way he knows how, and I'm doing it in the way I know how. And with God, it's going to come together perfectly. Because guess what? It's also a learning experience. We've also are learning more about each other and how we respond to things and how we bring things to the table. So, like I said, I didn't want to be before you long. I just wanted to come with this quick word and just to help you to appreciate just the small things. If your husband just comes home with a smile on his face and compliment you, and that's not something he's normally does, appreciate that. If he comes home and talk to you and it's not something he does normally, appreciate that. Just appreciate the little things because guess what? They are significant to us, but we have to appreciate it and stop questioning it. So this word was probably more for me than for you, but I hope it blessed you as much as it has blessed me. So until next time, you have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you later. But for those who catching the replay, make sure you ring that bell so you don't have to catch the replay and you can catch the live. Okay. So subscribe, like, share, press that bell so you know, and I'll see you next time. Have a blessed day. Bye for now.